All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Mixtape Show Artist of the Week interview. And this week's Artist of the Week, man, just dropped a dope project we're gonna talk about just being a really dope MC, man. The project is called Return of the Bad Guy. We're gonna get into how the brother got this one set up with whip beats. And you've been hearing the music here in the show the past few weeks, so it's kind of dope that we get to sit down and talk to him about this. He goes by the name of Skeezo, and he is our guest this week on the Mixtape Show. What's good, my brother? How are you?
What's good? Everything is good, man.
Dope, dope.
Maintaining,
I hear you. I hear you,
living.
man. So what I like to do, man, is I like to kind of set a baseline just so the audience kind of gets familiar with you before we get into the project, man. I usually ask, coming up, man, when you was growing up, man, what was your soundtrack, bro? What did you have in your headphones, and what was some of your influences coming up, before you decided that you was going to do
I had
this?
a lot of them.
Okay.
I had a lot of them because so I was born in 1980, right? So everything was popping from for hip hop, like
Yeah.
from then all the way up to now, where we at now. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about as a kid, it was Big Daddy Kane, NWA, Redman, Eric Sermon, EPMD. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Rakim, Um, it's such a Slick Rick, a lot of them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Those were some of the golden years for hip hop anyway. And then time progress, you talk about like Fat Joe, Gangstar, a lot of New York based stuff. That was real dope. I'm from New York, from upstate New York. So a lot of that New York stuff played a big part too. And I liked a lot of West Coast stuff too when you talk about Compton Most Wanted, Too Short, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Ice Cube, of course, Dre and Snoop, you know what I'm saying? Um, so what made me really the artist that really influenced me was like when I got into like Redman,
Hmm.
Master Ace,
Hmm.
you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Those type of artists, Grand Poobah, Brand Nubian, you know what I'm saying? Those artists really got me and my homies like just fooling around, freestyling as kids, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that when I met other people that were like more serious about it, that's when I started writing songs, like working on the song format versus just like freestyling and hanging out.
Hmm.
So that's pretty much it with that.
Yeah, yeah. Me and you the same. We the same age group. I was born '79, and I grew up in Queens. I live in Dallas now, but I grew up
So,
in Queens. So, um,
okay.
so talk about that because like you said, you lived in upstate. So for those who are not familiar with how New York hip hop and the scene is set up, it's kind of like if you're not from the immediate boroughs,
Yeah,
they really don't consider you like from New York. They're like, oh, you from New York State. You're not really from New York
yeah,
City. So, um,
that's very true.
and so before the Griselda emergence and all that kind of stuff, you were there, kind of living in that upstate area. How was that experience for
Yeah.
you as a
All
hip
right,
hop head? You know what I mean?
so the thing is this: I don't live upstate like them.
Okay.
I only live out. I live outside the city.
Hmm.
So it's when I say upstate, I don't mean like Buffalo,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Rochester.
yeah, yeah,
That's far. That's far from me.
yeah.
Like we was in Madison Square Garden last night. That's an hour drive.
Okay.
So I live in Orange. I live in Orange County. When you talk about Middletown,
Hmm.
Newburgh, Poughkeepsie, I live closer to the city. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So it's not a lot. A lot of my homies that's from the city, they ain't ever looked at it like that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because I was around them so much, and I had family in New York and Brooklyn specifically
Yeah.
in the Bronx. But I spent so much time in the city. I never felt like I was never part of it like that.
Yeah.
But as far as like living, I wouldn't change it for anything because where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, you could get a house and be away from the bad part of town, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, and still have a house with a backyard,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's real reminiscent. Like my homies would come up from Brooklyn, Queens, and they'd be like, dang, you got a whole backyard out this piece. You know what I'm saying? Like the air up here smell different.
Yeah.
They the greenery, you know what I'm saying? There's farms out here and all that trees. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm not that far from Bear Mountain and all that. So I never really felt like I was so far from it. But you know how it is. It's like the boroughs is the boroughs, man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A lot of brothers never make it out the boroughs. Like I'm an hour from New York. I'm an hour and a half from Brooklyn. I got homies that be like, nah, that's too far. I'd be like an hour and a half, bro. I'll be like, really, man? Like an hour and a half ain't nothing. Where versus when you're talking about Buffalo or
Hmm.
Syracuse, Syracuse is like 4 hours from me.
Hmm.
You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And we talk about Buffalo, that's like another 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You start getting like So we're more like the lower New York, you know what I'm saying? We still
Yeah,
Hudson Valley. We still Hudson
absolutely.
Valley, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I was just
Yeah.
about to say that was my family. Outside of New York, I had family that lived in Hudson Valley, and I had family that lived
Yeah.
in Hood City and up in that area. So like you said, it's kind of like it was a quick little getaway where you felt
Yeah,
like you was away from everything, where you can kind of clear your head and everything, and then you come back to the city and then you do that. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy how the
it
state's so
is.
big but so small at the same time, right?
Yo, it's nuts, man, because you no, I won't be in the Bronx for months. I go to Fordham and I'll bump into like everybody I know
Yeah.
from the Bronx. I'm just visiting. Like I might do a little shopping and just bump into a bunch of people that I know and be like, oh shit. Like, so New York is smaller than people think. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But
Hmm.
it's also big when you talk about taking a 4 6 hour ride, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, to those farther regions. And when you get to those farther regions, you know what I'm saying, people dress different, people talk different, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And I can understand why some of the others that live like in Syracuse or in Buffalo or in Rochester, they kind of like, they feel like they not really from New York. And then the,
Hmm.
and then the brothers from the boroughs treat other brothers like they not really from New York, even though it's New York's Empire State, you know what I'm saying? But you could see like the distance, even with the style of everything, you could see the distance, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Regional the regional difference because in reality is you said you from Queens, right?
Queens, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yo, I got homies out in Queens, right? My one homie I went to the garden with last night from Queens. Yo, Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten, they dress different, bro.
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
their own they every and that's you know what I'm saying? That's the five boroughs right there.
Hmm.
But they have
Hmm.
their own uniqueness
Hmm.
about them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I meet some brothers that I met a brother that I knew for years. I never knew he was from the Bronx. And I was like, you don't not strike me for a Bronx dude, man, at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has a distinct look, they talk and stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
still all New York. It's all good though.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, man. I love the diversity and I love the like you said, the styles and all that stuff coming up. Like now that you look back on it, that you're older, when you look back on it, you're like, yeah, you kind of can tell who the Harlem cats are, who the Brooklyn cats are, and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's funny. And now whenever I do visit, and I'll bring like friends and associates out there with me, and I'll be kind of putting them up on game and stuff like that, and kind of showing them, and they be like, oh, that is right. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope.
True.
So it's like a little
Yeah,
history lesson. You know what I'm saying?
it
Um,
is.
so let me ask you this, man. When was Skeezo the writer and the MC boy, man? When did you decide, what I'm saying, I want to tell my story and I want to be a reporter for hip hop and then tell what's going on out there?
I think that actually so I started like really rapping like I want to say like really rapping and writing when I was probably like 16.
Hmm.
But I don't think it was till like I was like 24 when one of my good homies um was like work just finished working on an album and it was big to me
Hmm.
because like he had billboards in the town. We
Hmm.
was doing a bunch of shows all over Philly, the city. You know what I'm saying? We was hitting up all these different venues and stuff like that. And I was like, damn. And he was like, yo, you up next. And I was like, shit. Like, all right, cool. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think it wasn't until I was like 24 years old, man, where I really was like knew that like I really want to start crafting something. And I got this thing now where I feel like if I don't have nothing to say, I'm
Hmm.
not going to sit here and just rap or try to
Hmm.
think of something witty. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, I feel like I got to have something to say. I got to get something off my chest or something that I need to articulate with the pen and the paper. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's, yeah, 24, man. Late,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Nah.
before that though, before that I was always rapping in a cipher. I'm talking about like out in New Eurekan Cafe. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Back in the 90s, like I had DJ homies that was bringing me up there. You know what I'm saying? And I would always be like I met Pumpkinhead, I met
Hmm.
Quali. You know what I'm saying? Like artists that you see there, Breeze Ever Flowing. So I was always like rapping, but it was a fun. But I think like the part I was lacking was the songwriting skills.
Hmm.
You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And that's where I like put a lot of focus to when I realized that you can't freestyle a whole album. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You can't freestyle a whole album. Like you gotta sit back and think about the content. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta
Yeah.
sit back and think about what you're saying and the message you're trying to relate to people and pick up the listener's ears.
Yeah.
So when I was about 24 years old, my one homie Alameen, he was always bringing me to the studio and he had like 2 albums under his belt. He helped me get my publishing,
Mm,
show me what copyright was, you know what I'm saying? Show me what like different resources that like as far as like the iTunes. This is before everybody was like crazy on the internet.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? If you
mm-hmm.
think about 2004, like to now, everybody's rapping. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's rapping. So you could just do something on your phone and put it on TikTok. And if it hit, it hit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Maybe
yeah,
maybe you go viral, but that's not what I go for, man. I'm all about the product of the music and the creative side of it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So it was late in the game, but
yeah.
like the space I'm in now creatively is like it's my best work to date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For
we
sure.
definitely gonna talk about that project too, man. I noticed well, let's get into the project and we'll talk about kind of like your rollout and then how you present it to the world. Cause I like how you doing it, because that's kind of we'll get into that. The new project.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah. No doubt, no doubt.
saying? Return of the Bad Guy, man.
Yeah,
You got produced by Whip Beats, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
How'd that work out, man? How'd you guys connect and how'd you link up to put this project together?
So I knew Whip for a long time, man. Whip years ago, I'm gonna say years ago, like I'm some real old head, right? So about I want to say about 7 years ago, Whip was working with some dope artists, man. He did a joint for Neek the Exotic and Bumpy Knuckles.
Hmm, hmm.
He did a joint for them, a beat a beat for his album, and they did a video for it. He did joints for uh, AG from Showbiz and AG. He did
Hmm.
joints. Yeah, he was doing joints for so many people. Tragedy Gaddafi. So he was on a run. And when he came to New York, I I was working with him going back 7 years ago. And when he came to New York, he spent some time in my crib and he was banging out some beats and we were just recording. You know what I'm saying? Like recording joints. And he had put something out and I did like 2 joints on it. I did a joint with Shabam Shadiq and my other homie Mike Hands.
Mm,
I did a solo joint, and then he did some work on an older album I had put out for Face Value.
mm,
He probably had like 3, 4 joints on it. So after my little hiatus, he was on a hiatus as well, but he was like working a lot, working with a lot of newer artists. And he was hitting me like, yo, when are you gonna put something new out? And I was like, I'm gonna get something out soon. And he was like, let me send you some beats.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Let me send you something. He sent me some stuff, and I was like, wow, he ain't miss a step, man. He
Yeah,
not miss a step. Like he was sending me so much fire, and I was like, he made it easy. Like I could hit him and say, I don't like this sound right here. It's bothering me.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, what this? He'd be like, all right, hold up. He take it out, you know what I'm saying, and send it back. Be like, all right, let me know how it sound now. I'd be like,
Hmm.
oh, that's dope. I got something. Let me give me a couple days. I'm gonna send something back.
Yeah.
So my process was as he was sending beats, as he is still doing now, because we're working on the next joint. My process is like I'll write maybe like 4 or 5 songs.
Mm,
And then I like to record at least 3 songs every time I turn on my mic. You know what I'm saying? Because I look for a certain cohesiveness when I'm recording, you know what I'm saying? And a certain sound. I want it to really flow a certain kind of way. So I will pick certain songs to record that have like a very similar vibe, and I'll do those all in the same day back to back.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So for the people when they listen to the album, it's super cohesive. Like you go from the first joint to the end, there's a current shift on there. I want to say probably like after track 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send something to you in the mail actually later today.
okay. All right.
Um, so when you actually sit down and you listen to it from track 1 on, you're gonna be like, damn, this album flows real good. And the dude told me, he was like, yo, this is no, he said, this is no slight to you. He was like, this album is like one big story.
Mm,
He was like, from start to end. He was like, you start off super aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Like you basically like grabbing the listener. He was like, then as you go on, you keep the aggressiveness. He was like, then there's a point where you like, all right, you dim it down a little bit.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And you just go into a chill vibe, and then you carry it from there, and then you go into a more conscious vibe. And And I was like, that was the whole way I wrote the album. I had a thought process with it, and I was like, yo, let me write it this way. You can't be crazy every song the
Yeah.
same way I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I'm not an R&B singer. I'm not gonna sit there and sing every song. I don't sing at all, but I'm not gonna sit there and do all that.
Yeah.
So I wrote the album to be like certain songs, they blend into one another. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole kernel shift when you get later on in the joint. So it kind of like calms down a little bit. You can zone out. You ain't gotta always feel like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody
So
stepping on your neck.
so how does that make you feel? Because we talked you talked about earlier about, you really focused on early in your career on how to write a song, how to craft a song. So when somebody can pick up the concepts and pick up the storytelling behind it, how does that make you feel when the fans can hear that in your
That
work?
feels, bro, it feels amazing. I'm gonna tell you why it feels for me, that's the ultimate win.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't do this for the money, and neither does Whip. You know what I'm saying? Of course, nothing is free. You know what I'm saying? But we do it for the passion. And I think that's why we work so good. We
Hmm.
not sitting here worried about how much something costs or what we going. We work on the product. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's the most important thing. You can worry about everything else later, man. We not, you know what I'm saying, worried about a big label or management saying, no, you can't do this because
Hmm.
it's freedom of speech. We're gonna do what we gotta do. As long as we love it and there's somebody that can say, yo, that's dope,
Yeah.
we gonna win. We gonna
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We don't make song to cater to nobody. You know what I'm saying? He don't make beats. He making beats, he love it. Like
Yeah.
he'll hit me and be like, yo, I just sent you something I think is so crazy. And I'll be like, all right, bet. Let me hear it. And I'll be like, yo, it is crazy. So
Yeah.
I'll go in. You know what I'm saying? So he
Yeah.
kind of knows what I like. You know what I'm saying? And then even though he's French, he from France, Paris,
Hmm.
he understand.
Hmm.
He picking apart my bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's dope. It's dope when you get somebody from another country. And like I said, we've met on two occasions we've met where we
Hmm.
actually hung out. But it's dope when somebody breaks the language barrier
Hmm.
and you understand your creative content. There's
Yeah.
there's nothing like that, bro.
That's hip hop, right? That's what
That's
hip
hip
hop was
hop, bro.
initially. That's the base of hip hop, was making it universal and letting everybody who go through their separate struggles understand each other, no matter what the language is, right?
Exactly.
Is this the first project that you've worked exclusively with one producer, or have you done that before?
This is the first, man. This
How
is
does
the
that
first.
feel? What's that
It
feeling
feels
like for you?
great.
Like that getting on the same page where you get your shit off lyrically and they get their shit off production wise.
I think it's I think it's the best thing you can do when you're an artist that is independent
Hmm.
because it gives you more control to work with one person, you know what I'm saying, and less work to try to balance stuff with a bunch of people to get them to follow a certain sound to make the
Hmm.
album sound so cohesive. And
Hmm.
it's crazy because like I remember watching something where Kanye was saying that just Blaze bit his style, you know what I'm saying, on a certain J album. And then Jay was like, he was like, that's not fair to say. He was like, because we knew what we were working on. So everybody had to have
Yeah.
that same sound. I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Me and Whip are working on something, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, this is what we doing. Whatever beats I don't like, I just tell them like, yo, I'm not gonna use this. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? If you could change this for me, you know what I'm saying? And we work it out. It's very simple. It's
Yeah.
it's like I've had projects where I've worked with like 10 different producers, and it's like, oh man, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta wait for this dude to send me back the
Yeah.
stems for a beat. This dude can't even mix his own beats, so I
Yeah.
gotta get somebody to mix his beats
Yeah.
now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It could be the runaround, and then you want to make the sound blend right.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it
Hmm.
takes a lot of the footwork out.
Yeah.
So it's dope. I
It's like
think it's the go-to.
I think so too. I think that's the to me that's the money play right there, is whenever you get a producer and the MC or artist in general, R&B singer, it don't matter. But if you get that one on one, it's to
Yeah.
me the product always sounds so much better because you guys talk so much about the projects, the songs, the format, this, that, and the other, where everybody can get on the same page a little bit easier. And like you said, compared to corralling cats, where you got to get all this other stuff, what I'm saying, out the way.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of that. I'm always a big fan of the producer MC element when guys work together, and that could lead to, like you said, multiple projects after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Look at Primo. Primo had the whole Gangstar Foundation group
Hmm.
home. You know what I'm saying? You had Gangstar. He was serving everybody. Big
Hmm.
Shug, J. Rue the Damager. He was lacing like whole albums. And then
Hmm.
it's a part of hip hop culture and history that it can't be denied. When you
Yeah.
go back and look at his catalog, you're like, damn, Preem really had his run, man. He was just banging out joints
Hmm.
and doing joints. You know what I'm saying? So it's to have an album like that, and then we look at Nas, he on
Hmm.
his run.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And we all love Illmatic, where he worked with a handful of producers, and now
Yeah.
he working with Hit Boy, and it's like we love what he doing.
Yeah.
He found his groove, you know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
it's super dope.
I think Illmatic was also the curse for his career
Yeah,
as far as how the public views him because always the knock is that he can never pick beats and I never thought that but um when you work with so many different type producers everybody's gonna think every time you put out a single it's always gonna be a dope single type of thing but like you said with Hit Boy he got that unison they're in unity they working with together and you can't deny the run man you know what I'm saying he's on
man.
his third or fourth Hall of Fame career right now you know what I'm saying.
Come on, bro. Come
Dope,
on, man.
dope, man. Well, the project is
Now,
dope, bro. I know you sent me the digital version. I listened to it a little bit. I scanned most of it this morning to kind of get ready for the interview and everything. And I think it's dope. I can't wait to actually get in the car here in a little bit and go drive and listen to it when I run some
no
errands.
doubt.
Um, I love the rollout, man. I love how you doing because I'm me and you same era, right? We're the physical. We love physical things. Like I still
Yeah,
cassette tapes and I love tangible things. So I noticed the first thing I always do is the artists always say, you know, you can catch me on iTunes and this and that and the other, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? But I always my personal thought is when you put your music on all of those digital spaces, they're not gonna ever promote you. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna tell people, hey man,
nah,
go check out Skeezo's new album. That's not what they do. But if you got enough people, if you bring enough people personally to traffic to check out your music, they're gonna capitalize off of that with ad space and all that, and you don't see a dime as an artist. You know what I'm saying? But I love how you guys are rolling out your project where you're like, hey man, if you want this piece of art, it's a piece of art. You know what I'm saying? Come over here and get it from us. And you it's a limited run on whatever the physical is, and you'll know that you got a piece of art that nobody else is gonna be able to get. I love that part
absolutely.
of the independent run, you know what I'm saying? And I always support artists like that who do things like that, who have physical stuff, t-shirts, CDs, all that stuff. Even though we really can't listen to CDs as much anymore, I still
Yeah,
can, you know what I'm saying? But
no, no doubt,
uh
no doubt.
I still listen to the analog stuff and I love that. So when I saw that you did that, I was like, this dude got it. You know what I'm saying? This type of artist I love to support because they understand their value, you know what I'm saying, as opposed
No
to just
doubt.
throwing it up against the wall saying, go check me out on iTunes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just a cop out, man. That's the cop out.
Hmm.
And that's not to take away from anybody's creative, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, form or they content, they creative content, because there's a
Hmm.
lot of dope artists out there. But man, yo, there's a time, okay, so we don't we like you said, we
Hmm.
from the same era, right? So you remember when it was special to put out that
Hmm.
CD of vinyl, that was special, bro.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not everybody was doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as independent artists, we need to get back to that because if we get back to that, we will weed out a lot of the people that's just occupying the space and
Hmm.
not being super passionate about it. And I'm not
Hmm.
saying that you have to only have physical joints,
Hmm.
but there was a time when artists that hung with each other, everybody had their shot. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
When now with iTunes and all that shit, nobody's waiting for their man to get their shot. They're like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm putting this out right now. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there might be a group of dudes that all rock together, but this one's putting out a bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying, through digital. This
Hmm.
one's putting it off through digital.
Hmm.
Nobody got a CD, a vinyl, or a cassette. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Nobody has nothing extra to give to people. Now I
Hmm.
got homies that hit me. They was like, yo, what happened to your I was looking for they looking for my I took all my stuff off of
Yeah.
iTunes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I took it all down. There's only like 3 singles up there
Yeah.
and they're all features. But other than that, I took all my stuff down because I told Whip, I was like, yo, listen, man, we'll put it up eventually. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? But even, okay, so with the vinyl, it's 10 tracks. Anybody that purchases a vinyl, they'll get a digital download code for 8 tracks.
Hmm.
So even if you listen to just the digital off the download code, there's still gonna be 2 songs you have to put that record on
Yeah.
to hear. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be so thinking about it. It's like you pay for it. You robbing yourself of hearing 2 joints if you don't have a record player, which I believe everybody should have a record player. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Whether it's
Yeah.
Bluetooth or not,
Yeah.
everybody should have that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? We still have computers. We still got all that in the lab. So the CD player, the DVD drive,
Hmm.
we do that. And I still buy CDs. I
Yeah.
buy CDs.
Yep.
Shay Noah, I buy her CDs.
Hmm.
Nas, I buy the vinyl and the CD, and then I
Mhm.
go back and buy the digital. So he
Yep,
get my money 3 times over. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So it's like that's another important thing. A lot of artists they don't take time to be fans anymore.
Hmm.
They just it's so easy to put it up on iTunes or Spotify, and they just me with
Hmm.
no real plan of footwork. And you forgot about why you even came to the table with this. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So
Exactly.
you gotta spread love, man.
To me, it's something. It's dope to see an artist like yourself. Like if you go to those networking events and you break out the vinyl, here's the new album. People go just off of the nostalgia. How much is that?
Yes.
Let me get that joint, bro. I gotta have that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make
Yeah.
them do some sort of impulse buying because they don't see
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Even me, like I still, as a DJ, I still rock turntables. I still rock 1200s in the mixer when I do my show and everything. And when I go
No
out,
doubt.
I try to do my turntable set as much as possible, just because people kind of they get drawn to it. They're like, "Yo, you don't see too many DJs doing that setup no more. Everybody got the controllers and stuff like that. But and
Yep.
I got one in the garage too. But I love the 1200s. I love that feel of that vinyl. And I get to flip the switch and go from digital to analog as quick, quick. You know what I'm saying? If I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
and throw on some
yeah.
old vinyl, so you can hear that the old records and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan, brother. So I definitely appreciate you as an artist who do that because it makes me
Dope,
want to support more. You know what I'm saying? In doing
dope.
that. So shout out to you for that, man.
No doubt,
I know you
man.
guys, you say you're working on some more work, man. What else we got? 2023 is about to start back up. Um,
Yeah.
what you got? What you got in the works, man? What you want to knock out for next year?
I got something dropping. I ain't gonna say it yet, but
Mm,
I got something dropping November of next year. It's gonna be another vinyl. It's
okay,
gonna be a real limited run. I'll just say this. It's gonna be an album full of features.
got you.
Full of features. You know what I'm saying? Shabam Shadiq, my homie Skankster Rap Martyr, El Gaunt,
Hmm.
Nutso, my
Hmm.
homie Sauce God. It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be real dope. I plan on dropping that in November, but before that, me and Whip is working on the next joint already. You know what I'm saying? So we hope to put it out May, June. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? That'll be the run. So with this project, we're gonna be pushing that up until that date. With the new year coming in, we will release like a EP version of the album on Spotify and iTunes. That way the people can at least
Hmm.
stream at least 5 or 7 of the songs, you know what I'm saying? But
I
they
like
still
that.
gotta realize that for that real sound, you gotta get the vinyl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For that
Yeah.
real shout out to my homie Gibbs because he's a gem. He actually mastered this album for high quality vinyl sound. We
Mm,
sat down when it came back in the mail and we put it on his turntable in his lab in his studio, and we were just blown away by the quality of it. We were just like, yo. And then he started pulling albums off of his shelf and
mhm.
comparing them.
Comparing
And
them.
he was just like, yo, the fidelity ain't even close. But what a lot of some of our favorite rappers and producers are doing, like the quality is not even close. I can guarantee that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it's a very good quality product. It's not cheap, nice, sturdy vinyl. You know what I'm saying? The sound quality is there. If you just got one little record player, you got a turntable, you want to put your headphones on, let that joint run. Pour a couple of your finest, man. So 2023, we're gonna drop 2 joints. You know what I'm saying? The one joint I'm dropping in November is gonna have a bunch of different producers on it. It's gonna be vinyl exclusive. So there will be no digital download ever for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be if I pick a song off of it to push, definitely Sharif will have that joint and get it to the people. Um, but the joint with me and Whip, we gonna do it again, man. We talking about packaging plans and ideas right now, how we gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the same thing we did this time, though. You know what I'm saying? Where we'll keep like a certain amount of songs,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, for singles or digital, but for the most part, you're gonna experience it by purchasing a package.
There
You
you
know,
go. There you go, brother. And
yeah,
where could I get that, man? Where we get that vinyl or them
yeah,
CDs, all that?
yeah. You can get merch on skeezo.bandcamp.com. That's where you can get all the merch at, whether it's a CD or a vinyl. Unfortunately, I'm sold out of everything except the new album, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? So like anybody catching up, you can still download the digital version of the projects of my past projects on skeezo.bandcamp.com. So, but like as far as like t-shirts and hard copies of all the older stuff, like stuck in the 90s and
Hmm.
face value is sold out. You know what I'm saying? So that's gone, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Return of the Bad Guys up there. I got a few CDs left. I actually got to go through there. I got to run to the post office a little later and get these orders out as well. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm very grateful to the people that have been purchasing the product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Extremely, man.
There we go.
Extremely. 6 years. Been 6 years since I dropped something.
There you go. There you go. It's a good return, right? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You got videos for this or visuals you gonna shoot for this project?
I'm not too sure yet. A couple of my homies saying I need to do something. I got some people that's nice with the videos, so
Mm,
we'll see what happens.
there we
My
go.
my my plate is a little full, but that don't mean it's out of question. You know what I'm saying? We
Hey,
could pop up and shoot a video at any moment.
there you
You
go.
know what I'm
The
saying?
beauty of independence, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You don't have that
Controlling the
machine
narrative.
behind you rushing you like, come on, we got to do this. You know what I'm saying? You can build
Yeah,
organically, brother. Well, brother, I definitely appreciate your time here, man, on the show. What we do is for our first time guests, we induct you to what we call our Boom Bap alumni family. You know what I'm saying?
no
Uh,
doubt.
the door is always open. Come back and whenever you got to promote anything, we'll always open that door up for you. And like you, I got some merch I got to finish up, so I'm gonna get your information after we get off air and send you
No
a little
doubt.
package, you know what I'm saying, for being a part of our family now. And you know, so shout out to Sharif for booking this interview. I know it's
Oh,
the holiday
salute, Sharif.
season, you know what I'm saying? I know it's the holiday season, everybody's busy, so I'm glad we got to work this one out. And
Absolutely.
you know, so we're gonna keep spinning these records, man, and then playing these joints off the project, man, and keep
Appreciate
promoting
you.
that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody want to shout out before you get out of here?
Big salute to my homie Gibbs, man, on the home team for the mastering. On this album, he did an amazing job. Shout out to Whip Beats, my brother from another mother, man. We gonna keep banging out these joints and keep working, man. 2023 is already coming, and
There
we
we go.
coming with more heat. That's it. We not stopping.
There we go, man. He goes by the
That's
name of
it.
Skeezo. Just dropped the project with Whip called
You
Return of the
already
Bad Guy. Go purchase that project. You know what I'm saying? You can't listen to it on iTunes, you know, unless you want to listen to the single.
nah.
But listen, go get the project. You know what I'm saying? Support the brother, support the art, so he can come back around the
So
block with some more heat. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
All right, we're gonna get in a couple joints off the project. We'll be right back. And hold on just a second, all right, bro?
Yep.
All right.